David Hundeyin write Elon Musk spark up Trump's anger on this country. Things are happening, oh, but relax, let me gist you. Now, still on this issue of USAID, as people are still contemplating on the allegation that was made by US Congressman, where he said that funds from USAID is being used to sponsor Boko Haram in this country. Now, as you are still checking out what is going on that issue, David Hundeyin is saying that is 2 seconds, bae, he dropped another bombshell. And in this one, he wrote to Elon Musk. In fact, with what I saw on that write-up, he did not just tag Elon Musk, he tagged USAID and Trump. And in this one, he alleged that funds was disbursed from USAID to one account even 24 hours after President Trump has given directive to stop all expenses from USAID. Now, if this is true, is he not going to spike up another investigation upon the one that is going on? But he never finished, yo. Now, the Binance man that accused 3 of our lawmakers of $150 million bribe has doubled down on his allegation. In fact, let me allow you to listen to Arise News and listen to Rufai Oseni, how he tackled the whole matter. But as you are listening, be clicking on that share button and also subscribe in case if you have never done so for more updates. And after that, I'll be back. Let's go there.
David Hundeyin, who actually blew the whistle in the first place. David Hundeyin wrote to Elon Musk. He wrote, "Hi Elon Musk, here are some cut and dried cases of US aid in Nigeria, corruption and money laundering you may want to look into. On January 16, 2025, just 4 days before Donald Trump's inauguration, USAID made a $3.3 million payment to a vendor in Nigeria called Dye Global LLC. I looked into the payment history and saw that between August 2020 and January 2025, at least $48 million of US taxpayers' money supposedly invested in Nigeria went to Dye Global LLC, registered in Bethesda, Maryland. So I looked into Dye Global's activities in Nigeria, and it turns out to be a run-of-the-mill climate NGO, which organizes meetings and seminars and stages photos with politicians, and little else. Yet nearly all of its payments from USAID in Nigeria are labeled all other professional, scientific, and technical services. I mean, since Donald Trump's inauguration on January 20th, at least $799,000 of U.S. taxpayers' money has been paid by USAID to recipients in Nigeria, marked undisclosed or miscellaneous. At least $446,000 of these undisclosed recipients in Nigeria were sent across 8 payments between January 29th and January 30th. Meanwhile, you will remember that U.S. President ordered USAID to halt all payments on January 28th. USAID Nigeria disobeyed a direct instruction from the U.S. President and spent the next 24 hours after the instruction frivolously shelling out $500,000 of U.S. taxpayers' money to recipients in Nigeria marked undisclosed. I'll leave the implications of this to you. Well, David Hundeyin had also alleged that Barack Obama's government was responsible for unseating Goodluck Jonathan using Boko Haram and staging the Chibok girls kidnapped, sparking the hashtag #BringBackOurGirls movement. While the posts quickly gained momentum, with some ex-users sharing Goodluck Jonathan's interview after he lost the election.
Of interference by the Obama's government was very overwhelming. It's not as if I couldn't have won the election even with that. But if by my own thinking and also the way some other people look at it, they go outside the normal diplomatic relationship, then it should be mentioned. Sending that person to Nigeria at the eve of election, after Obama even issued a statement directing Nigerians to vote for the next chapter, that tells you something. And we should not sweep these things under the carpet. If a foreign country, whether African country or even America or any other country, interferes with our own elections, we should mention it.
Professor Killer, I was hearing you cracking up when Jonathan was saying that tells you something. Rufy on fire. Please unpack these details.
I couldn't hear the entire interview.
Oh, you didn't hear the interview? Okay, no problem.
But
that's Jonathan's speech when he was explaining it. He read it and I was overwhelmed.
He said that Obama had undue influence on his election.
On the election.
Even before the announcement, he had said, let's vote for
another chapter.
Yeah, for another chapter. So just Obama's influence.
Number one thing.
Yes.
Where is facts? The first story you brought forward.
Yes.
David showed facts.
Correct.
Of an undisclosed
listed them
There's
and
facts.
had pictures,
That's
images,
just like the
everything.
facts I'm asking for. That where was the line item of a company related to Boko Haram and all of that? That's just all I'm asking for. Okay, I and somebody were having a conversation while all of this was going on as regards this fact and documents, and we're having a conversation as regards when was the atrocities in Congo first revealed. As at 1890s, a man called Morel had set up a newspaper out of Congo where he was revealing the atrocities. He used to work for the Elder Dempster line, and he discovered that the guns they were bringing in, they were bringing in guns from Belgium, and they were taking out minerals from Congo. As at 1890, the facts were there. The Lumumba files, there was a quick declassification of those files. As at the 60s, as at 64, we know those files. Where are the empirical files to be able to show that? They've posited all sorts of things by saying, they even set up to the extent that because David Axelrod worked for them, Tinubu and all of that, was that free? It was a service. Anybody employs an election manager. So them Tinubu using David Axelrod was a service and they paid for. They employ an election manager. So Jonathan saying, oh, it was because of this and all of that. They even linked it to the same-sex marriage bill and all of that. It was the National Assembly that passed that bill. So where are his facts? Because the part of his facts he did not also tell us is that the 2015 election, I can give you with empirical facts that is rigging that outweighed rigging.
Do you have the facts here, Rufai?
Oh, I'll give you the facts.
Empirically.
I'll give you the facts, and I've even enunciated them.
Okay, really quickly.
Rivers State election, for instance. How did the PDP get over 1 million votes in Rivers? Since we started using beavers, has anybody gotten 1.4 million votes? Kano election, for instance. How did the APC get over 1.5 million votes in Kano 2015 election? So everybody held their stronghold.
Right.
One passed the other one.
All right.
Those are facts based on the election reports. Because if they are not facts, the truth is, Nigerian population has increased since 2015. You have more voters on the election register now than it was in 2015. But why is it that all of a sudden the margin of win and the numbers have reduced tremendously?
Questions.
So
Good
let's
questions.
stop deceiving ourselves.
Questions.
Like I told Dr. Abati the other day, until we get to the point that Mr. Jonathan will accept, and I think he has already accepted this, that in their election, he lost fair and square.
No, you said they beat him.
They beat him. There were many other factors.
That's what Rufai said.
If he says, okay, there was this American dynamics, if he can give me a copious report on it and how the role America played and how they, I mean, I will take it.
All right.
But till then, it's in the realm of allegation and
All right,
speculation.
there was a huge argument earlier when I came in the studio, and I'd like your quick comments on that argument, whether or not the US should provide facts or what the rep had said was to be taken.
So the first thing I'll make, the first
with a
thing I
pinch of
said,
salt or
yes,
not.
the first thing I had mentioned was that when a congressman, someone of that caliber, comes out to make allegations like that, then it carries weight more than just a man on the street who is saying that. The assumption is that for him to come out to say something like that, then he must have some kind of information that is not privy to the public as at yet. The second thing I said, and during this was during the interview with Professor Kiyemi, was that the Chief of Defense Staff himself had alluded to the fact that there must be some conspiracy with international non-governmental organizations who have trained Boko Haram, funded Boko Haram because of what they have received post getting some or arresting some of these Boko Haram insurgents, that they had foreign currencies on them. They seem to be quite sophisticated, so they must have international backing. That's second.
Yes.
Now, with all of this coming together, the next thing I would expect the Nigerian state to do would be to investigate further.
Simple.
Don't forget that internally as well, we have people who are said to be saboteurs. They cannot work in isolation. They have people who they are colluding with if the allegation proves to be true.
Right.
There's not a lot we can do with America, as Professor Kemi said, but there's a lot we can do with our own internal saboteurs. finally, on this point, while we're speaking, a girl who lost her brother, who was a soldier to Boko Haram, said that they found out that some of the soldiers within the camp were also complicit. They were used as well, and some of them would take a break just as they were about to come and attack. And on one of those occasions, when one of them was a mass, they saw one of their fellow members. So a lot of things around this. Investigations is just that we just have financiers and all of that, and then this will end, but we never have an investigation. It just goes on there.
Speaking about investigation, internal saboteurs, and all of that, in another development, Binance executive Tigran Gambaryan was trending over the weekend after he doubled down on his allegations, insisting that Nigerian government officials demanded bribe from him. Gambaryan was detained in Nigeria from February to October 2024 for alleged money laundering and economic destabilization attributed to Binance's activities in Nigeria. Recounting his experience in a post on X, Gambaryan alleged that certain Nigerian lawmakers demanded substantial bribes in cryptocurrency to the tune of $150 million. He also claimed that Nuhu Ribadu, the national security advisor, sought significant payouts from Binance for his political ambition, while the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, in a swift rebuttal, dismissed Gambaryan's allegations as outrageous and defamatory, adding that the Nigerian government had rejected a $5 million offer from Binance intended to secure Gambaryan's release, but rather opted for a more favorable settlement with the U.S. government. Professor Kila, I know that you're abreast with this conversation, but you know it's a huge allegation, huge defamation case coming for Tigran at this moment. But let me just take some reaction. Let me take a reaction from Ben Murray Bruce, who wrote, I've known Malam Nuhu Ribadu my entire life, and I can say with absolute certainty that he is incapable of allegations being leveled against him. I challenge Tigran Gambaryan to undergo a lie detector test if he genuinely believes the claims he has made. It is exhausting to witness individuals repeatedly dragging Nigeria's name through the mud with baseless accusations and fabricated evidence. Tigran Gambaryan should consider himself fortunate to have been allowed to leave, because if Nuhu had his way, I am confident, or supremely confident, he would have ensured that he remained behind bars for 100 years, I swear on my life. Guma is lying, and I demand that Tigran submit to a lie detector test. I mean, this is a statement. I mean, I didn't know that Ben Bruce and Nuhu Ribadu were that close. I mean, this comment was quite viral also. He says he can swear on his life that Nuhu Ribadu will not do that. But you know, the federal government's rebuttal was quite strong. Yeah. Even Tigran responded to that, and I'll read a part of his tweet. And he wrote, responding to the federal government, saying, you investigated, yet you didn't take a statement from me. A person with direct knowledge. What a joke. You dragged my name through the mud for the past year with zero evidence against me, nearly killed me and caused trauma to my family. And now you have the nerve to talk about defamation? I'll put my credibility on the line anytime. You mean like last time in court when your attorneys didn't even show up to the human rights suit in Abuja? Get your facts straight. I am done with this foolishness. I said my part. I'll be off Twitter, which is X, now, since it's pointless to argue with evil. This man is doubling down, saying that he is absolutely correct to say that Nuhu Ribadu and those three lawmakers, who he named actually in his tweet, asked him for money boldly.
Well, it's a fascinating, enjoyable case if it were not for the reality that affects Nigeria. But we must be very clear with ourselves. It is unfortunate, but it is true that it is easy to believe that Nigerian officials ask people for bribe. And that is something we need to work on. There's no point. I mean, good luck to Ben Bruce, who wants to swear on his life. I would tell him to take a test detector as well.
Lie detector.
A lie detector as well.
Okay.
To say where he's been. Good luck to him that believes so much in anybody in Nigeria. They say, no, I know they will never take bribe. It's a good thing to have people like that. But history and fact does not demonstrate it, that we have such a situation, such a system. I think what we need to do is to take it one by one. Unfortunately, again, the man was right when he said, you said you investigated something and you took no documents from me. You said you are following a process and your attorneys do not appear in court. You see, these are the kind of haphazardness, these are the kind of little anyhowness that we do, that we need to change. If we want our country to be great enough where people will not accuse us of taking bribe, or where we will not be denied visa, we will not inflate the number of people applying for visa, and we will not get angry for that.
Shots fired.
We should just do little things in the right way. That's all we need. No big magic. Just a lot of people doing little things the right way, and this country will be great.
Okay. I mean, just to state the fact again, to be clear, that, you know, I believe that in the tweet that he had who put out about Nuhu Ribadu, just to clarify, he didn't say Nuhu Ribadu asked for money. Just to clarify that again. But I mean, I really love your analysis on this topic. And I think that, I mean, I saw you were taken aback by his statement about whether, you know, government officials are corrupt or not. But, you know, it's easy for people to think that because of the index out there. And, you know, it's good that we'll continue on this story. We'll follow up and investigate the story. Huge defamation.
Huge. You mentioned names.
And there's too many names. Important names as well. Well, in Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke, in a strong rebuke on Sunday, accused his predecessor, Boyega Oyetola, of allegedly planning mayhem in the state by issuing illegal directives to security operatives to enforce a non-existent court ruling to reinstate sacked local government chairpersons. Adeleke made the allegations during a press conference, saying that Oyetola is enforcing illegality simply because he's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's nephew. Let's take a look at the video before we come back for a discussion.
I, however, regret to inform Mr. President and the public that Mr. Boyega Oyetola has concluded an arrangement to cause mayhem in Osun State, starting from Monday. He is issuing illegal directives to security operatives to enforce illegality simply because he is nephew of Mr. President. I choose to allow the nation before my people are killed or maimed by a minister dropping the name of Mr. President in connivance with the Osun State security operatives obeying unlawful orders. The bone of contention is embracing effrontery to return to office council chairman sacked by a subsidiary court judgment using a different court decision, which has no consequential order.
I mean, Governor Adeleke there, really strong and stern. I mean, what got a lot of people talking on social media was the fact that he said, you know, Oyetola is going around with this illegality because he's President Tinubu's nephew. Yeah. I mean, that was a strong statement, really.
Well, anytime I hear Adeleke talk, my first question is, did he dance before he said it? Or
did he dance before
after he said it? But this is a strong allegation, and we must put in the context, you know, never mind if it's anybody's nephew. Point is, Adeleke is the chief security officer of the state. If he thinks somebody is planning to invoke chaos or cause chaos in the state, he has not only the right, but the duty to point it out. Absolutely. But although he must be based on fact as well. Well, I think at this point, the next step should be for the security agents to be on alert and maybe send a note to Oyetola saying, "Dear sir, we understand you have evil intention. Please don't do it, because if you do it, we'll beat you black and blue," as Rufai will say.
Can I just say something very quick? This is why a lot of people are pushing for state police.
Yes.
Because people have said, oh, why is he coming out? Is he not the chief security officer of the state? Let him handle his state. Yeah. But there are limits to his power because there's still federal might at play. And if federal might is backing Oyetola, allegedly, then he's at a disadvantage, even though he's the governor and the chief security officer of the state. So he did what was in the best interest of the state. Come out now and call it out while still trying to find out how to deal with the issue internally. Absolutely. So good one for him.
Yes, we'll follow up on the story as always.
You get the point. Now, what do you think about this whole basbos, or should I say quagmire? And don't forget, the more you are trying to fathom it this side, the more other ones are coming out from the other side. What is actually going on? In fact, share your thought with me on the comment section. And of course, you know the vibe now. Click on that subscribe button, follow, and share for more updates. Because like this,